My coworkers threw me a surprise going-away party. I'd been fired 6 months ago and never told anyone. Let me back up. 6 months ago, my manager called me into a conference room on a Tuesday afternoon, slid a folder across the table, and told me my position had been eliminated in a restructuring. 2 weeks of severance, effective immediately. Don't bother coming back Monday. I sat in my car in the parking garage for 45 minutes, completely blank, before I drove home. And then I just didn't tell anyone. Not my parents, not my girlfriend, not a single one of my coworkers, because we were all remote. Every last one of us. We'd been fully remote since the pandemic, and our team had never gone back. We had Slack, we had Zoom calls twice a week, and we had absolutely no physical overlap in our daily lives. So when they cut off my access to the company systems, I just disappeared quietly from the inside, while everyone on the outside assumed I was still there. I know how this sounds, but you have to understand, I was humiliated. I'd been at that company for 4 years, I was good at my job, and I got eliminated in a restructuring like a line item in a spreadsheet. I couldn't bring myself to say the words out loud, so I kept not saying them, and every day that passed made it harder to start. I found a freelance project within 3 weeks, then another. Within 2 months, I was making more than I had at the company, just doing contract work from my home office. My girlfriend thought I'd gone fully freelance by choice. My parents thought I got a raise, and my former coworkers, who I still texted casually, still sent memes to, still checked in with on a personal level, just assumed I was still there, buried in the same spreadsheets we'd all complained about together. The thing is, nobody ever asked directly. Nobody said, "Hey, how's work going?" in a way that required a real answer. It was always just, "How are you?" and "I'm good, busy, you know how it is," and that was that. Until Elle messaged me in March. Elle was the one person on my old team I was genuinely close with. We'd been work friends for 4 years, and real friends for about 2 of them. She messaged me on a Sunday night and said her team was throwing a going-away party for Tommy, another former colleague who was leaving for a new job, and she was in town for it, and she'd love to see me. And could I come? I said yes because I missed her and I was an idiot. The party was at a bar downtown, small private room in the back. I walked in and there were about 15 people from the old team. I hadn't seen most of them in person since before the pandemic. There were hugs and drinks, and I was genuinely happy for like 8 minutes. Then Elle clinked her glass. "Okay, so before we get into Tommy's big send-off, we have a little surprise of our own." She was grinning at me, because we heard through the grapevine that someone else is moving on too. I felt my blood pressure drop through the floor. "We know you've been freelancing full-time," she said, and my brain scrambled to figure out who told her and how. "And we know you didn't want a big fuss, but you didn't think we'd just let you disappear without a proper goodbye, did you?" The room cheered. Someone brought out a cake. There was a card that everyone had signed. Jamie from accounting had written, "4 years of carrying this team, you deserved better." She meant it as a compliment. She had no idea how accurate it was. I stood there holding a goodbye cake for a job I'd lost 6 months ago while 15 people toasted me and told me how proud they were. I thought about saying something. The moment was right there. I could have laughed, told the truth, turned it into a funny story, but Elle was beaming at me, and she'd clearly put real effort into this, and I looked at the card everyone had signed, and I just smiled and said, "Thank you." I gave a little speech about growth and new chapters. Tommy looked mildly annoyed that his party had a co-headliner, which honestly I deserved. On the way out, Elle hugged me and said, "I'm really proud of you. It takes guts to just walk away and bet on yourself." I hugged her back and said, "You have no idea." I called her the next morning and told her everything, the whole 6 months. She was quiet for a long time, then she started laughing so hard she had to put the phone down. "You let us throw you a going-away party." I panicked. "You ate the cake. It was good cake, Elle." She made me call Tommy personally to apologize for hijacking his party. He was surprisingly cool about it, said it was the funniest thing that had ever happened to him. Elle still introduces me at parties as my friend who got fired and ghosted an entire company for 6 months. I've stopped correcting her.